Hello everyone, how are you? Today we're going to talk about spaced repetition. My name is Julie Demi, I'm a Cambridge Certified English teacher and a teacher trainer. In my previous sessions about active recall and forgetting curve, I was sharing with you some parts and bits of spaced repetition, and today we're going to discuss spaced repetition in depth and how to apply spaced repetition in your everyday life to improve your retention and to enhance your long-term memory. Let's get started. First of all, let's define what spaced repetition stands for. Spaced repetition is an evidence-based learning technique where you mainly use cards and you expose yourself to some particular questions, training your memory throughout some space. Spaced repetition or spacing came from psychology. That's the way how we expose ourselves to some particular information through active recall and try to memorize this data. Spaced repetition is usually performed with flashcards. There are two kinds of spaced repetition, the one which is adapting and another which is fixed. By definition, spaced repetition is an extremely effective learning technique. It also has a different name, distributed practice, which means totally the same. Spaced repetition is an approach in which lessons are retaken at increasing intervals until the knowledge is fully embedded into long-term memory. As the material is reviewed, the intervals become systematically longer. For example, 2 days, 4 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. Anki is a very good example of spaced repetition app where you can train your memory and use spaced repetition. Newly introduced and difficult cards are shown more frequently, whereas older cards and those that are less difficult are shown less frequently, which means we train our memory according to our abilities and level of difficulty. Some findings indicate the advantages of expanding spacing over equal spacing.
Which means you can create your own schedule. You can monitor how well you are becoming in some information which is relatively old and how easy it is for you to obtain the new information. You can see that some old information can be not so easy to remember. Then you can include these bits into your more frequent repetition, and vice versa. There might be some pieces of information from newly exposed material that you can acquire quickly, and it means that you don't really need to have this extensive exposure to the same material, and you can try expanding the interval. You can create the table in Notion where you will have a chance to write all the questions that you need. Yes, it's time consuming, but when something important is at stake, I would say that it is definitely worth it. After the first review, you can see which information is easy for you to remember and which information still requires more exposure. You can highlight this information with different colors. In other words, you can see that we can adjust and adapt our own schedule to our abilities and our needs, which makes the whole process of spaced repetition a more effective experience. In my previous videos, I already mentioned the name of a German psychologist, Hermann Ebbinghaus, who came up with an idea of a forgetting curve and how to overcome it. Ideally, you need to expose yourself to the same material at least 4 times.
Thank you very much for joining this video. I wish you good luck and hopefully we'll see each other next time in my upcoming video. Bye!